Hello, welcome to Save U.S. Taxes Legally. We're going to start off with three simple questions. Number one, do you want to leave a legacy for future generations? Number two, do you want to save taxes, you want to save U.S. taxes year after year, generations after generations? And number three, do you want to learn the secret of the rich? If you answered yes to all three questions, I hope you did, stay with me for the next 20 or 25 minutes. I'm going to teach you the secret of the rich. This is not taught in schools. It's legal. It's in the IRS Tax Code 643B. It's been in front of the United States Supreme Court on two separate occasions. You can't get more legal than this. Now, imagine saving four, five, six figures in taxes year after year, generation after generation. You can use this money to put back into your business, put back into more real investments, to pay off your mortgage, to take your family on a well-deserved vacation, to give to a charity, to buy a vehicle, or to save for retirement, or do all of them at the same time. Imagine nobody knows what you own, where you own it, how much you own, what you do with it, and how much you sell it for. Imagine all lawsuits become frivolous and go away. Think of how much time, anxiety, money, and worry just disappear. Thank you for coming to Save U.S. Taxes Legally. My name is Sally Gimmon. I'm the owner of www.thetrustisyou.com and a free class on the Great Discovery. You go out to my first name and my last name squished together, you'll get a 23-minute presentation, 3 articles from Forbes magazine, 2 pages of case law so you can research this to your heart's content, and examples of clients saving thousands of dollars. Again, this is legal. It's in the IRS Tax Code 643B. It's been in front of the United States Supreme Court on 2 separate occasions. I am a representative of a law firm that was started by a Harvard law professor, Paul Benson, 77 years ago. Unfortunately, he has passed away. Now his grandson and great-grandson run the law firm and have the copyright on the Spendthrift Trust. When you Google the IRS Tax Code 643B, please do, you're going to find an opinion letter dated September 11th, 2018, where the IRS actually comes out and says, and in a letter, saying they do not like Tax Code 643B. They do not like the Irrevocable Complex Discretionary Non-Grantor Spendthrift Trust, and it's their opinion. I have many, many opinions. I bet you have opinions too. The IRS cannot change the tax code. Only Congress can. And too many US presidents, US senators, congresspeople know about the secret of the rich and have the trust. So let's give you a little bit of history. Then I'm going to tell you about myself, and then I'm going to show you examples of clients. This comes from England, way back in history, 1534, if I have the right year, when King Henry VIII, that famous king who chopped off his wives' heads, started a church. Murder a few ladies, start a church. Why not? He's broke, and he goes to tax the lords and ladies of England, and they went further back to history, the Magna Carta of the 13th century, and said, oh, no, 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 King Henry VIII, you can't do this. It's contract law that came to the colonies while we were still part of England. The law firm I work on behalf of inherited a trust that turned 350 years old in 2023, before we were a country. Our current tax code that we are under went into effect February of 1913, 111 years ago, and the Barron families of 1913, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Carnegies, the Kennedys made sure they could save taxes. Well, if they can save taxes, we can save taxes. This is in IRS Tax Code 643B. Now, I want to go over the 3 ways you're going to save with the Spendthrift Trust. Listen up. Number 1, you're going to save taxes year after year, generation after generation. You pay for the trust once and you leave a legacy. Number 2, all your information is completely private. It's all in a titanium vault and nobody can get a hold of it. The trust will not hold an LLC, an S Corp, or a C Corp. That's state law or statutory law. What in Arizona, it's a corporation commission. Here in North Carolina, it's a Secretary of State. Anyone can go online to any the state's Secretary of State or Corporation Commission, and research all LLCs, S Corps, and C Corps, and 40% of them get sued every year. That's why it's not in the trust. This is on the federal level, not on the state level. And number three, all lawsuits become frivolous and go away because your assets are in a titanium vault. Someone tries to sue me, Sally Gimmon, woohoo, good luck. I think I have $4 in my wallet right now. That's all you can get. Now, Paul Benson wrote 5 very specific trusts. I'm going to go over them very quickly, and then I'm going to go over the 5 elements. He wrote the business trust for you, where you'll save at least 90% on federal income taxes and no longer pay state income taxes. He wrote the beneficial trust, where all investors will stop paying taxes on all profits. He wrote the senior trust. If you're over 65 and making too much money, it can affect your Part B of Medicare. Part A is your hospital stay. Part B is your doctors and your tests. He wrote the charitable trust. Many of my clients are saving so much money, they start their own charities. And finally, he wrote the mineral rights trust. I've only sold one of those. One of my real estate the clients inherited his granddad's horse farm in Oklahoma that has 6 oil wells on it. He's the only person who has a mineral trust. Now, with the trust, I don't care which trust you have, you'll save all those taxes. The 5 elements that I talked about earlier, I'm going to go over them. Irrevocable, complex, discretionary, non-grantor, spendthrift trust. You must have all 5 of these. Irrevocable, it goes from generation to generation. The Rockefellers Spendthrift Trust is called the Office. It's 7 generations old and has over 400 people under the same EIN or employee identification number, your tax ID number when you file your taxes. It does not mean once you get something in the trust, you cannot get it out of the trust. I started my trusts in September of 2020, and I've wholesaled 29 properties through the trust. I'll explain this in a few minutes. So irrevocable, complex. This trust can hold money day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year, decade to decade, century to century. 97% of the trusts sold in the United States are what my mom and dad had and what Susie Orman talks about on PBS television. The family trust or the living trust. There's nothing wrong with the family trust. It avoids probate and then it dissolves and goes away and all the assets are dispersed. This is not your mom and dad's trust. This is what the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Carnegies, the Kennedys, and Donald Trump have. You're going to save taxes, keep your information completely private, and all lawsuits become frivolous. So irrevocable, complex, discretionary. Whoever is a trustee or trustees can make the rules for all the beneficiaries. True story. I have a husband and wife who are trustees, have 4 apartment buildings in California. During the fires, none of them burned down, thank God. Their daughter has a slight drug problem. She's living in one of the apartments rent-free. Mother and dad are requiring her to do a drug test, 4 random drug tests per month. She actually took her parents to federal court. The judge reads over the trust and he says to her, you have 2 options. Option A, pass the drug test, live rent-free. Option B, move out and continue using drugs. Your choice. I do not want to be invited to their Thanksgiving dinner. Irrevocable, complex, discretionary, non-grantor. This makes the trust completely private. When you set up the trust, you're going to have someone who is not a beneficiary and not a trustee become the settlor or the grantor of the trust. You will need their social security number. This is not a speed bump. I've done this for several of my clients. What will happen is they will set up as a settlor and then they will sign themselves away. The trust becomes completely private and they won't know who owns it or where it's at. My mom and dad's family trust, my mom and dad were both the grantors and the settlers. So when they both pass away, the trust dissolved. This is a huge difference between the family trust and the spendthrift trust. Irrevocable, complex, discretionary, non-grantor, spendthrift trust. The Spendthrift Trust has been in front of the United States Supreme Court on 2 different occasions, and both times it's been favored. You can't get more legal than this. Now, the law firm I work on behalf of. Paul Benson was a Harvard law professor who wrote 5 specific trusts to save specific taxes. You're not tax-free. In 77 years, not a single trust has ever been audited, and in only one trust in 77 years has been examined by a senior IRS agent. He flew down to Houston to the law firm, spent 5 hours in the boardroom going over a business trust. He approved it, and 2 weeks later, he sent an unsolicited letter to the law firm showing how he approved the trust. If you want a copy of that letter, please let me know. I will make sure you have it. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're going, this is too good to be true. How come my CPA hasn't told me this? How come my financial advisor doesn't know about this? Great question. Let's take care of the elephant in the room. There are over 1 million active attorneys in the United States. Only 4% are trust attorneys. This is the secret of the rich. Very few people know about this, and it's not taught in schools. Again, there's an IRS letter dated September 11th, 2018 that many people refer back to that say this is going to go away. It's not. I don't have a crystal ball, but it's a contract. When you start the trust, it's a contract between you and the law firm. They're so confident in what they do, they'll send you a certification saying if you get questioned by the IRS, they'll defend you free of charge. In 77 years, it's happened once. Only once. So now that you know a little bit about the trust, I'm going to tell you my history since we're spending some time together. My watershed month for me was October 2018. 3 major things happened. I'm in Phoenix, Arizona, working as a Medicare broker. And if you know anything about Medicare, open enrollments from October 7th to December 5th, anybody can change their Medicare if they're 65 or older. My oldest nephew is getting married in Charlotte, North Carolina, October 28th of 2018. I request the Friday before the wedding, the Monday after the wedding off because I had friends and family coming in from all over the world. I was denied. I don't like my job very much, and I don't like it even more. Second thing that happened, my 3-week-old car, driving to work 7 o'clock in the morning in Phoenix on Indian School Road, major east-west road. I'm the second car through on a green light. Some idiot runs a red light, T-bones me on my passenger side, totals my car. I'm not injured, thank God. He has no insurance. My uninsured property damage in Arizona auto insurance was $25,000. My car was 3 weeks old. I was upside down on my auto loan. I had to buy a second car. All of a sudden, I go from being comfortable to eating ramen noodles twice a week, just like I did in college, and I'm 53 years old. This is not the way my life should be. Third thing that happens, I live in Phoenix. My mom and dad live in Goodyear, Arizona, 25 miles west of Phoenix. They drove a week before the wedding to Charlotte for the wedding because they were taking a lot of things. My dad calls me Thursday before the wedding to say my mom's in the emergency room. They're not sure what's wrong. He'll let me know. I work the day before the wedding till 8 o'clock at night, drive myself to Sky Harbor Airport, take a red eye from Phoenix to Charlotte, land about 7:15 in the morning. Family tradition, we go out to IHOP for breakfast. My dad then takes me to the hospital to see my mom. I walked in on the priest giving my mom last rites. I wasn't ready for that. I knew she was sick, but the priest giving someone last rites, I only saw that once before in my life after my grandmother died, and I wasn't ready for that. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I go to a church wedding, then go to a country club. I eat too much. I drank too much. I danced too much. I had a great time at the wedding. Next day, Sunday, my sister-in-law puts on this beautiful buffet for everybody out of town. My dad and I leave at 12:30. We go back to the hospital to see my mom. And then he drops me off at the airport because I have to fly back to Phoenix because I have to be at work 6 o'clock the next day. Ends up that my mom has septic of the blood or blood poisoning. She's on a ventilator for 13 months, in a hospital for 15 months. It got into her pacemaker. My mom had a murmur in her heart. It got into her pacemaker. They had to do open heart surgery, take out the pacemaker, and put in a new one. So my dad stayed with my mom for 9 months in Charlotte. They were supposed to be gone for 2 weeks. I'm working full-time as a Medicare broker. I'm going out to their house once a week to do the mail to send to my dad because he didn't plan to be gone so long. First week of December, there's a letter that's 27 pages thick. It's my mom's Medicare statement for the emergency room in 1 month on a ventilator. Open it up, and it says it's $72,000. My dad is a retired military officer. He's got TRICARE for life. My mom's getting the best care possible. I'm standing in my mom and dad's kitchen. I have a $10,000 deductible on my health insurance. Thank God an ambulance wasn't called the day I had my accident in October. I have 2 car loans. I'm upside down on one car and eating ramen noodles. I don't like my job. I have student loans because I went to graduate school. I have credit card debt. My life sucks. Right then and there, in my mom and dad's kitchen, I call my friend Glenn, who had invited me to a real estate meeting in late August of 2018, and I told him I had to put things on hold. Glenn answers, he's like, Sally, next week, next Saturday, we're having a potluck Christmas. Come at 6 o'clock, bring a $5 gift and some food, meet my fellow real estate investors. What? I don't know anybody, but Glenn and his wife, they're going to have Christmas pageant, so they won't be there until 9 o'clock. He wants me to be there at 6. Whew. Pull up my big girl pants. I make Verone's pasta. I go to the party. It's on Camelback Avenue in one of the high-rise buildings, condos. I can't get in the door. This gentleman comes up. I find out his last name. We find out we're third cousins. Craziest thing. Middle of Phoenix, my third cousin standing next to me. Go up, meet fellow real estate investors, and most importantly, I meet my mentor, Jay Tannenbaum. In 2019, with help from my mentor, Jay Tannenbaum, I wholesale 7 properties nationwide and paid off $184,000 in debt. Woohoo! I'm a rock star in my real estate group. I have $50,000 sitting in my bank account because I'm a good real estate investor and I know about capital gains. Huh. Fast forward, April 4th, 2020, my CPA calls me and says, congratulations, Sally. You made so much money, your tax bracket went from 22% to 24%. You need to make an appointment with me. So let me share my screen. I'm going to show you some information. So this is an actual thing from 2024 to 2025, how taxes are going up. There used to be 4 ways to file your taxes. Single's the most expensive way, head of household, married jointly, the cheapest way, and married separately. Check this out. Married separately is now the same amount as single. This is $100,000 and how much more you'll pay in 2025 on the same $100,000. Again, I got this from NerdWallet. This page shows you there's 7 different tax brackets from 10% to 37%, 7 different tax brackets. The more money you make, the more money you pay. So I went from someplace between $47,000 to $100,000 to someplace between $100,000 to $191,000. I go out to Scottsdale to my CPA. I owe $94,000 in short-term capital gains. I only have $50,000 saved. He puts me on a payment plan. I sign the paperwork. I get my parking validated. I go down to the parking garage and literally cried for 20 minutes. It's the start of COVID. 3 of my properties did not pay me April 1st. I'm in a money crunch. What am I going to do? I took out a HELOC on my house to pay off the rest of my taxes for the federal government, but it defeated the purpose of being completely tax-free, completely debt-free. I drive home, if you know anything about geography, Scottsdale's east of Phoenix. So I'm driving home in the evening, the sunset, tears running down my face. My great Aunt Kitty, my mom's Irish, my great Aunt Kitty in Ireland always said, sleep on it. One of my favorite books, just a note for you, is The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. I read that at least 3 times. I wake up 5 o'clock the next morning. I had read an article about the Rockefellers Spendthrift Trust. It's called The Office. It's 7 generations old. It has almost 400 people under the same EIN number, and they don't pay taxes. Well, the Rockefellers don't pay taxes. Sally Gibbons not going to pay taxes. It took me 5 months to find the Spendthrift Trust. I bought both the business trust and the beneficial trust, and I'm very proud of the fact I became the first female mastermind in my real estate group, teaching other investors how to save money. So let me share my screen again. You see the tax things? This is my first house that I bought. I actually bought it in July of 2020. I started my beneficial spendthrift trust in September of 2020. When I bought the contract for $20,000, a bank-owned reverse mortgage in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, my philosophy was I'm going to use this to visit my mom in North Carolina and write it off on my taxes. $20,000 to $50,000 at 24% tax rate, that $30,000 spread, I would owe $7,110. So when I started my trust in September, I did two simple bill of sales. I literally Googled them. One bill of sale from Sally's real estate team for Rocky Mount to Sally Gimmon. Second bill of sale from Sally Gimmon to my Beneficial Spendthrift Trust. I go to the bank, I get them notarized. I happen to have $10 in my pocket, hand it to the banker. He makes a note in his notary book. There was consideration made. Hands it back to me, drive home. I scan both bill of sales. I'm in Phoenix. I send it to the attorney in Raleigh, North Carolina. Next day, the attorney sends me an email, says he needs the first page of my trust. Send that to him. COVID happened. It doesn't go to auction until August 28th of 2021. Without lifting a hammer, woohoo! Sally made $44,326. At 24% tax rate, I saved $10,368 in short-term capital gains and put it into more real estate. Now we're talking about the Beneficial Spendthrift Trust. The Beneficial Spendthrift Trust is going to save you the five following taxes. Short-term and long-term capital gains. Short-term capital gains are a year or less and affect you if you're selling crypto, if you're a forex investor, if you're wholesaling, you're fix and flipping, you're doing auction houses or tax liens. Long-term capital gains are a year or more and affect you if you're selling a business, selling an investment property that you had for more than a year, or a baseball card. Interest income taxes, again, are going to be between 10% to 37% and are for passive investors, people in mutual funds. If you're in a Riich, if you're doing the subject to real estate, the BRRRR strategy. I have notes where on the paper in the house, people pay me their mortgage, creative financing, or seller financing, or if you're a forex investor. Yep, forex investors get taxed twice. Dividend income taxes. If you're in the stock market, you're a day trader, you're doing options trading, you're living on dividends, you're doing futures trading or commodities, you'll save those taxes. Rental income taxes. If you have short-term rentals like Airbnb, vacation rentals, if you have 5 doors, 10 doors, 20 doors, 30 doors, multifamily, apartment buildings, commercial property, or you're doing Airbnb arbitrage. Yes, you can put a house with depreciation schedule or a building with cost averaging into the trust. Because again, you're going to save all lawsuits. So if the renter's dog gets out and bites the mailman, they can't come after you. But any new properties, you don't have to do that anymore because you're saving the rental income taxes. And then finally, I don't have this on the slide, but royalty income taxes. They're taxed a little bit less, between 10% to 35%, 7 different layers. But if you are in NFT world, if you have talent, like maybe you're an author, an actor, an actress, an artist, you have copyrights, patents, or intellectual property, you will save royalty income taxes. So this is just an idea. If you wholesale 2 properties in 1 year at 22% tax rate, you would save $22,000. If you make $50,000, you would save $22,000 on that one property. You've paid for the trust. If you are at 32%, you will save $32,000 in taxes. If you're selling crypto or anything else, depending on what your tax bracket is, you no longer are going to pay those taxes with the Beneficial Spendthrift Trust. Now we're going to go to the business trust. This is for all U.S. business owners, U.S. franchisee owners, U.S. entrepreneurs, and U.S. 1099 income earners. If you're making at least $80,000 in gross taxes, you will save at least 90% on your federal income taxes and no longer pay state income taxes in 43 states. Again, if you're making more than that, you'll save more than this. So let me share my screen. Let me go back here. We've seen this one already. This is some of my clients who are saving money. A mechanic in New Jersey. He and his wife started this company. They have 3 adult children, want nothing to do with the mechanic shop. September of 2024, he went to the local high school, hired 2 kids who want to learn auto mechanics. They come after school and on Saturdays, so he's bringing in more work and saving even more in taxes. A salon owner, she's got 2 salons and a haircutting school in Los Angeles. Thank God she's safe. She makes $1 million a year. Per month, she's saving more than some people make in a year. A Shopify owner who sells earrings. She's only 23 years old when she started this. Her shop was growing month after month after month. She too went from 22% to 24%, knew she was paying too much in taxes. She keeps her store for only 10 years. She'll save over $173,000 she'll never have to pay back. A home inspection company in Ohio is saving so much money, they're going to hire another inspector. A real estate broker in Illinois, he's saving $4,979 in 2024. I made a presentation to his top 7 real estate agents who all made more than $100,000. And because he's an affiliate of mine, he made an extra $7,000 because he shared the wealth. A dentist in San Diego is going to use a $2,483 a month to pay for his student loans. An HVAC owner who bought the company, a business broker brought me this. The gentleman who sold the company saved capital gains. The gentleman who bought the company, bought the trust, he's going to save an extra $20,052 per month, and he added 2 new trucks in 2024. Next one, this is a real estate agent, just one house in August of 2023. I saw her at a Christmas party in December. In 2024, she sold 6 more houses and saving taxes. A business coach in Indiana, he's saving $4,893. A franchisee sub-owner in Ohio, he took the $40,122 and opened a 3rd location, so he's making more money and saving more in taxes. An Amazon store owner in Oregon, selling online, he's now starting a 2nd store on Amazon. This one, a commercial light salesman. He's in Chicago. He only worked 3 days a week because he was sick of paying taxes. He says he's now going to work 5 days a week. And finally, a paid speaker in Iowa, saving $3,510 per month. So now, long-term capital gains. When you sell something at a profit, this is a true story. A 27-year-old son saw my TikTok video. His mom and dad were selling a 42-year-old restaurant that Jim, his dad, and his 2 brothers built, as is, for $3 million. I'm not a CPA, but April 15th of 2024, if they don't have the Spendthrift Trust, they would either have to pay $450,000 at 15%, or at 20%, it'd be $600,000. They're like, let's get this started. They're working with a business broker. His name's Sam. Contact Sam to change the contract. Sam says, hey, I make $1099 income. I need a business trust. I said, great. I tell him about my affiliate program. He contacts Michael, the gentleman who's buying the restaurant. It's his 7th restaurant. He's in 3 different states. And Michael buys the business trust, so Sam made an extra $1,000 on this. Amazing. This next video is a true story. I took my friend Ingrid door knocking on a cold, windy March day in 2023, teaching her how to door knock. She's no longer a real estate investor. She doesn't like it. We go into our favorite New York-style pizzeria and order the best New York-style white pizza. We sit there and chit-chat for about 2 hours. Mario is there. We're the only customers there. As we're walking out, he asks for my business card. I meet his wife, Marianne, a week later. They're doing their 2022 taxes. Between 2 locations, they're making about $15,000 gross per month, which is $180,000 per year. They're at 22% tax rate. At 90% savings, my clients are saving between 90% to 95% in tax savings. I personally saved 92% 2022 and 2023. Plus North Carolina state income taxes for a full year, it would be $34,903. In 2024, they opened a 3rd location. In 2025, they're going to open a 4th location. When they retire in 3036, they're leaving 2 pizzerias to 1 adult child, 2 pizzerias to a 2nd adult child, no inheritance tax, and then the adult children will continue to save federal and state income taxes. Now, every time I sell a trust, I donate $100 in my mom's name. I can palm a basketball. My mom's fingers were an inch longer than mine. She was only 5'2". I'm 5'9". My grandfather died December 1939 with the start of World War II, and she was food insecure. And she was appalled when we got to Phoenix that kids went to bed hungry. Now, if you would like to set up a 30-minute tax breakthrough session with me, it's going to be www.thetrustisyou.com/scheduling. And my free class is on the Great Discovery, www.sallygimmon.com. My goal is to teach as many U.S. investors, U.S. business owners, U.S. entrepreneurs, U.S. franchisee owners, and 1099 income earners, the secret of the rich. It took me 5 months to learn this. Now you've just learned this in under a half an hour. You want to start saving taxes and leave a legacy and no longer worry about lawsuits, please set up a 30-minute tax breakthrough session with me. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something new. Have a wonderful week.